One Piece chapter 1083. We finally get to learn more about the chaos that happened at the Reverie. Karasu and Morley are absolute powerhouses, and Lucci gets yelled at by a straw hat? And the cover page is Dofi taking care of a baby bird. But don't get me wrong, he's still absolutely despicable. We pick up right where we left off with Sabo briefing Ivankov and Dragon about the events of the Reverie. He tells us that the revolutionaries had 3 main goals and all of them were a complete success. Goal number 1 was officially declare war on the Tenryubito by destroying their symbol of power, the little dragon paw in the middle of Marijois. Goal number 2 was free as many slaves from the Celestial Dragon's control as they can while also trying to save Bartholomew Kuma. Goal number 3 was destroy the Celestial Dragon's food storage, and I love this to death because it means we're probably not going to get an all-out battle, but I'll go into that a little later. Sabo also makes sure to make it very clear that the rest of the world definitely took notice of this. I mean, the admirals did get involved. Dragon gives us a little bit of an exposition dump about activities that are happening in other parts of the world. Dragon says that 12 of the countries that the Revolutionary Army had influence in rebelled, and 8 of those 12 actually staged a successful revolution and took over the country. Ivankov chimes in and says that despite things looking great on paper, this is actually super worrying because one of the 8 successful revolutions happened in Lucia, and we as readers all know what happened to that one, but they don't, and it is terrifying to them. 7 of the 8 countries that were not annihilated off the face of the planet are no longer paying their heavenly tribute, and this is going to be bad. This gives us another insight on the genius plan that I talked about with them destroying the food storage. They understand that tactically, Marijois is practically impossible to assault because of its height. So they really don't stand a chance as far as attacking with ground troops because they'll just cut the elevators and it's over. Like, they'll just fall. But the revolutionaries understand what it's like to live without food and money, and the Celestial Dragons don't. They're gonna make sure they learn, because eventually the heavenly tribute and the food that goes to the Celestial Dragons is gonna slow down, gonna run out, because those 7 countries also impose trade restrictions. But of course, we should expect these big brain plays because it is Ivankov we're talking about, and have you seen the size of their noggin? It's insane. But in regards to their plan, I do really love that it doesn't seem like it'll be army versus army here. It makes sense from a guerrilla warfare standpoint, and also just the fact that save the big battles for the pirates, man. I want to see Luffy punch people out. I want to see the revolutionaries win a worldwide revolution in a smart and tactical way that makes sense and isn't just my fist is bigger than yours. You know what I mean? But that doesn't mean there won't be any battles, because as Dragon points out, they now have to worry about the Tenryubito mobilizing God's Knights. Let's address the elephant in the room. The silhouette in the middle, as everybody has noticed at this point, kind of looks like Shanks, but as we've seen before, we can't always trust a silhouette, and I know I shouldn't use the anime to influence this, but I will say, just look at the anime silhouette for Green Bull. That's not at all what we got. I also still don't think Oda's the type of writer to pull a switcheroo and make Shanks a bad guy. I do, however, think it's very important to consider that Shanks was, as a baby, found on God Valley in the treasure chest, as we learned when Film Red released. Since God Valley is a holy land to the Celestial Dragons, or was, that's where this could tie in. It's gonna be very important. Back to the Holy Knights, though, it seems like right now they're shaping up to be the Revolutionary Army's main opposition. I actually really like this choice. Leave the Navy to fight the pirates, and obviously the pirates to fight the pirates, and have an actual government entity fight the Revolutionary Army. I really like that idea. I don't think it needs to be fighting the Navy. With the news claiming that Sabo killed King Cobra of Alabasta, who was apparently a symbol of tyranny under the world government's banner, Sabo is being celebrated as a hero, despite the fact that King Cobra, as Dragon points out, was the antithesis of corruption. And it's tragic that one of the most benevolent kings of the world had to die. Sabo says, look, I know it's terrible that we lost King Cobra, but we also can't miss this opportunity. This is a moment to fan the flames of revolution greater and use this unfortunate situation to benefit the revolution. Honestly, I think Cobra would have supported this. Cobra was a good king, and I'm sure he sensed the corruption and tyranny in the world government. That is why he spearheaded the idea to get rid of the warlords. I know that was a lot of build-up, but now we get into the action part. The Celestial Dragons are a mix of terrified and angry, and good. They deserve it. We see Karasu save a pirate from getting blasted with his Devil Fruit technique Crowsoot. He's a soot man. I think that makes him a Logia based on how it operates. Lindbergh is gathering up slaves to escort to safety, and then Fujitora shows up, prepping to drop a meteor on the land of gods. At least it fits his character. He does kinda hate them. Karasu actually intercepts Fujitora, and I'm gonna talk about him and Morley in a second. Because Morley is putting in work against Ryokyugyu. The Celestial Dragons threaten the Admiral, saying, hey, if you hurt any of us, we're gonna have you killed. And this makes Green Bull a little mad at Fujitora for trying to drop a meteor. Oda reaffirms the fact that the Admirals are significantly nerfed, with Jabra and the rest of CP9, by the way, now CP0, commenting that if they were anywhere else, the destruction would be catastrophic. Cha-pa-pa! They also say that the Revolutionary Army commanders are no slouches and are actually really respectable for being able to put in work, even against these nerfed admirals. This makes it clear that the commanders are using the situation to their advantage, as any good guerrilla force would. I do think this statement right here does make it clear that the commanders are not admiral tier. However, it's funny to say they are, so please keep doing it, because saying Karasu is admiral level is hilarious. We cut to the inside of Pangaea Castle and get to see the most hateable character in One Piece try to get his hands on Shirahoshi. Sorry, Foxy, you do not top this list. Oh, what I would give to see Saint Charlos take a Bajrang gun to his little noggin before the story is over. Sabo sees Saint Charlos, so I'm sure he intervened somehow to save Shirahoshi or help her. They'll definitely talk about that. That's probably where he was before. Oh, I think I got it. What if they're taking Shirahoshi to Eam? Or Eam says, hey, yo, listen, Charlos, I'm gonna need that. Or like one of the elders does it, right? Because they wouldn't know about Eam. But what if one of the elders says, hey, I'm gonna need that? And that's where Sabo learns about Eam. We cut again, this time to Vivi. Lucci is insisting that CP0 will keep her safe. However, Vivi is trying to go get Garp's help because she thinks Shirahoshi will be targeted again. Lucci doesn't realize that he's messing with a Straw Hat and that a Straw Hat crew member is currently giving him a headache. And it is priceless. Plus, Vivi does understand that CP0 is there to protect the Celestial Dragons, not them. So why would Vivi trust him over Garp? You'd think that Lucci would know that she's not naive enough to believe that. The last page is Cobra going to meet with the 5 elders. Chaka and Pell wheel him in his chair up to the door, but Cobra has to dismiss them to go in. It pulls on my heartstrings, by the way, to know that Cobra's last line to his trusted advisor Chaka and the nuke-proof bird Pell is along the lines of, hey, Vivi has a tendency to get lost. Go check on her and please protect her. It's hitting me that Cobra is like dead. Like, I don't think he's coming back. Okay, so I have a gut feeling that next chapter we're gonna find out the other names of the 5 elders. So everybody other than Saturn. It makes sense that Cobra would know them, and I think this is the perfect time to do it. Whether we see Eam, I'm still 50-50 on that. But I think for sure we're getting the names of the 5 elders. I think I solved the One Piece. Nobody else has had this theory, and I'm super excited to share it with you guys. You know what else I'm excited for? Yeah, you do. You hitting that like button, that subscribe button, and telling me what you thought in the comments below. Guys, we're almost at 100 LettuceBoys, and I have no words. Like, thank you. This is awesome. This is always the highlight of my day, talking to y'all and making videos. So, yeah, I love y'all. And as always, I've been your host, Lettuce Eating Walrus. Have a wonderful rest of your day.